thinks of the answer. Otherwise, she might forget. And I'd never know what it is I'm supposed to be great in. You see? Besides, Mother locks the front door.
I thought so.
No, it's not what you think. It's not like that. She doesn't lock it to keep me in, which would be malicious. She does it so I can't get out, which is for my own good and therefore beneficent.
What was that?
A warning.
What do you mean a warning?
A warning that you have to go. Your time is up.
My time is what?
Shh! Your time is up. You have to go. Now, at once, right away. Quickly, you can't stay any longer. You've got to go.
Why?
I don't know.
Jonathan, why did your mother ask me to come here?
What?
Why did your mother ask me?
So I could meet you.
Well, then why didn't you just come ask me yourself? There's something very wrong around here, Jonathan. I just don't understand why you didn't come ask me yourself.
Mother's so much better at those things. That's the third warning. You've got to get out of here.
Will you call me on the phone?
Get out.
Instead of your mother coming to get me, will you come get me yourself? Will you call me, wave to me?
Yes, I'll do that. Now get out.
I want you to promise to come and see me again.
Get out.
Promise me.
Get out.
Why do you keep looking at that door?
Rosalie, please.
Why do you keep looking at that door?
Rosalie, please, you've got to get out of here.
There's something very wrong around here, Jonathan. I want to see what's behind that door.
I love you.
What did you just say?
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Too late.
2 warnings are enough for any man. 3 are enough for any woman. The cuckoo struck 3 times and then a 4th, and still she is here. May I ask why?
You've been listening at the keyhole, haven't you?
I'm talking to my son, harlot.
What did you just say?
Harlot! I called you slut, scum, sleazy, prostitute, catching and caressing children men, stroking their hearts. I've seen you.
What are you talking about?
Blind man's butt with the children in the garden. The red-headed one, 15, I think, behind the bushes while the others are covering up their eyes. Up with your skirt, 1, 2, 3, and it's done.
It is not.
Don't try to deny it. I've seen you in action. I know your kind. I've watched you dance.
And what do you mean by that?
Last night, in the ballroom, I've watched you closely, and I know what I've seen. You dance too close to those men, and you let them do too much.
You have no...
Don't try to deny it. Words will only make it worse. It would be best for all involved if you left at once and never came again. Good day.
Why don't you let Jonathan out of his room?
Who?
Jonathan?
Who?
Your son?
You mean Albert? Is that who you mean, Albert?
Please don't.
Is that who you mean, slut? Is that who you mean?
I mean your son.
I don't let him out because he is my son. I don't let him out because his skin is as white as fresh snow and it would burn if the sun struck him. I don't let him out because there are trees with birds sitting on the branches waiting for him to walk beneath, let go of the droppings and hit him on his head. I don't let him out because you're there, waiting behind the bushes with your skirt up. I don't let him out because he is susceptible. That's why, susceptible to trees and to sluts and to sunstroke.
Then why did you come and get me?
Because, my dear, my stupid son has been watching you through that stupid telescope he made. Because, in short, he wanted to meet you, and I, in short, wanted him to know what you were really like. Now that he's seen you, I throw you out, for you are nothing. Well, my son is mine. His voice is like the music of angels, and his mind is pure. For he is safe, for it is I who saved him. Saved him from the world beyond that door, from the world of you, from the world of his father. Go on, leave my room and enter your world again. Your sex-driven, dirt-washed waste of cannibals eating each other up while they pretend they're kissing. Go into your blind world of darkness. My son shall have only light.
Come back again. Please, come back again.
His name was Albert Edward Robinson Rosepetal III. How strange and sad he was. All the others who had come to see me had been tall, but he was short. They had been rich, while he was poor. They all had been handsome, but Albert, poor Albert, he was as ugly as a humid day. Just about as wet, too. He was nothing but one great torrent of perspiration. Yes, he was round and wet and hideous, and I never could figure out how he ever got such a name as Albert Edward Robinson Rosepetal III. Oh, I must have been very susceptible indeed to have married Albert. I was 28, and that is a susceptible year in a woman's life. And of course I was a virgin. Part of the cause of my condition, I will admit, was due to the fact that I still hadn't gone out with a man. You see, I had observed their ways and habits, and even at that tender age, I had the foresight to realize I must know what I was up against. So I began to watch them in huddled hallways, talking in nervous whispers and laughing when little girls passed by. I watched their heads on crowded buses and even felt their feeling elbows on crowded streets. Ugh. So one day I bolted the door to my room and bought a small revolver, just in case. Then I sat at my window and watched what went on below. It was not a pretty sight. Some men had come up to see me. I don't know how they got my name, but I have heard that once a woman reaches womanhood, her fragrance wanders out into the world and her name becomes the common property of men. But they all soon left anyway. I think they caught the scent of a younger woman down the hall. I watched a world walk by my window, a world of lechery and lies and greed. And I decided not to leave my room until this world came to me. Exactly as I wanted. One day Albert came toddling up the stairs. He waddled over to my room, and in a very frail and very frightened voice said, "Will you please marry me?" And so I did. It was as simple as that. I still wonder why I did it, though. I don't know. Yes, maybe because one look at Albert's round, sad face, and I knew he could be mine. That no matter where he went, or whom he saw, or what he did, Albert could be mine. My husband, my lover, my own, mine to love, mine to live with. Mine to kill. And so we were wed. That night I went to bed with a man for the first time in my life. And the next morning I picked up my mattress and moved myself into another room. Oh, how easily is man satisfied. How easily is his porous body saturated with fun. All he asks is a little sex, a little food, and there he is, asleep with a smile and snoring. Never the slightest regard for you, lying there next to him, your eyes open wide. No, he stretches his legs and kicks you in the shin, stretches his arms and smacks you in the eye. You lean over to kiss him goodnight, he'll belch in your face until all your romantic dreams are dissolved in an image of onions and garlic and baked Boston beans. How considerate is man when he's had his fill of sex? How noble, how magical, how marvelous is love. So you see, I had to leave his room. For as long as I stayed there, I was not safe. After all, we'd only met the day before, and I knew far too little about him. His life was a mystery, and his mind contained too many secrets. But now that we were married, I had time to find out more. So I began to watch him closely. My plan worked best at night, for that was when he slept. I would listen at my door until I heard his door close. Then I'd tiptoe out and watch him through his keyhole. When his lights went out, I'd creep across the floor to his bed, and then I'd listen some more. My ear became a stethoscope that recorded the fluctuations of his dream life. For I was waiting for him to speak, waiting for the slightest word that might betray his sleeping secret thoughts. For I was listening for my name upon his lips, for a word of love. But no, Albert only snored and smiled and slept on and on. Every morning when the dawn came, I left, knowing no more than when I'd come. And that is how I spent my nights. Next to him, my husband, my love. I never left his side, never took my eyes from his sleeping face. I dare you to find me a wife who's as devoted as that. A month later, I found that I was pregnant. It happened that first horrible night. How like Albert to do something like that? I fancy he knew it was going to happen all the time, too. I do believe he planned it that way. One night, one shot, one chance in a lifetime, and bam, you've had it. Takes an imaginative man to miss. But yet I never let on. Oh, no. Let him think I'm simply getting fat, I said. And that's the way I did it, too. I nonchalantly putting on weight, Albert nonchalantly watching my belly grow. He knew what was happening to me. He never let me know it. He was as silent as before. 12 months later, my son was born. He was so overdue that when he came out, he was already teething. He bit the index finger off the poor daughter's hands and snapped at the nurse till she fainted. Then I took him home and put him in a crib in the darkest corner of my room where my husband would not see him. For until I found out exactly why he wanted to marry me, I would not tell him a son was born. Shortly after that, Rosalinda came. She was one of Albert's many secretaries. You know, I always felt there was something star-crossed about those two, for she was the only person I ever met who was as equally as ugly as he. It seems her mother had once owned a laundromat, and at the tender age of 5, Rosalinda, a curious child, had taken an exploratory trip through the Mangler. Ah! The result of the trip being that her figure took an uncanny resemblance to nothing less than a question mark. Well, naturally, I never let on that I knew she'd come. When she walked in front of me, I looked straight through her. When she spoke, I looked away. Though Albert watched me like a naughty boy, anxious to see his mother's reaction to a mischievous deed, I disregarded his indiscretions and continued my life as if nothing had ever changed. I simply set an extra place at the table and cooked a little bit more. At night, instead of preparing one bed, I prepared 2. Instead of fluffing up one pillow, I fluffed up 2 and straightened an extra pair of sheets. Then I